it's a half shekel from Israel. I first planned to do this on April 1st as the beginning of Passover and so forth, leading into Easter. So I thought maybe an Israeli coin would be interesting. So, close enough to Easter, we could talk about Israeli coins. So this is a 1/2 shekel, denoted on the head side with the 1/2 fraction. Obviously, it's got Israel, in a couple different languages, new shekel, a couple different language, and what is it? Shekel, Israel. Yeah, I think that's it. New shekel. Yeah, it's nickel-plated steel, which gives it its color. On the tail side, you'll see it. There's a lyre, Lyre, because King David was a musician. And I think this is interesting. If you look at how the lines of this string come above the top of the lyre, it was real hard to mint that. And you got a menorah over there. I think it's called a menorah. Yeah. And it's a 1/2 shekel. It's worth about 16 cents. And back when I was delivering pizzas, there was this customers Friday afternoon. They'd get a white pizza and a veggie pizza before sundown. And usually, like many of the customers, they're usually good tippers. And I usually say, hey, in lieu of a tip, if you have any foreign currency, I would love to get a hold of it. And they would tip me in U.S. dollars as well. But sometimes I'd get a coin, and this guy gave me a coin. And I knew it was a Jewish household. They have the thing on the door, their orders, I think. But, I don't know all the complexities of, what is it? Not halal, kosher. But I find it interesting, especially now, because, I did that video a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, where I was talking about the Israeli baseball team. And, I got some dislikes on that. And, it could have been some Jewish people didn't like my accent. I was just goofing around, having fun. I'd say do yourself a mitzvah and grow yourself a thicker skin. There's a lot worse people in the world. Because I stand with Israel, and maybe I get some dislikes from people who don't stand with Israel, or all the crazy, conspiracy theorists out there. And it's like, and I just never really understood the whole dislike of Israel. And you could be sitting there at home. It's like, he gave you a 16-cent 1/2 shekel. And it's like, it's ridiculous. All these stereotypes are ridiculous. I think it's that the whole thing about the hatred of the Jews and so forth, it's all basically jealousy, if you ask me. Because all the Jewish guys I knew growing up, they were smart. They were well-read, every night they're reading the Torah, they're reading the Talmud, they're reading all the stuff they got to read. They got to read their schoolwork. And when they sit at the lunch table with me, with the nerd table, they're like, do you guys have any comic books? Anything other than this stuff that I have to read all the time. And so their kids grow up with fantastic reading skills, reading comprehension skills, fantastic mathematical skills, and so they grow up in a world where the whole purpose is to educate and make them capable. And those guys go on and they do great things. They go to good colleges. They have great careers, and they end up in law and finance because, it's covering a lot of stuff. Whether it's, understanding a narrative in the law, or understanding the purpose, or the, whatever it is it takes to understand the law, or whatever it takes to make a chart for role-playing games so that everyone, gets a proper amount of experience. They're the kind of guys who create a spreadsheet based upon a role-playing game that he made up on the Sabbath. Are they allowed to write on it, or just construct it in their mind, And that's the point. It's like they train their children to be successful, and it's all just jealousy. And they're like, all the Jews are rich and they have all the money. And it's like, why would they have that? It's like, maybe it's because they raised their kids to be successful, and it's just jealousy on your part that you were not raised that way, or maybe it's jealousy on your part that you are not capable of educating yourself in the same way. Anyway, cool coin, right?
The madman loves you all.